Hopefully everyone is finding themselves well. I miss you all very, very much. Being here in the studio without you is really quite lonely. But we can all breathe together, we can move together, and we can all feel good together and stay connected. So take a moment to find yourself settling in. If you'd like to stay in a chair, you're certainly welcome to do so. Or find yourself a space on the mat where you can support your head, you can support your legs, whether you have a towel or blanket, or you can put pillows underneath your legs. Even have blocks, which can help when we sit. And then for the end of class, if you can have something that you can cover your eyes. So let's just take a moment to begin to settle ourselves in. Relaxing and releasing, laying back, feeling our body light, but yet heavy at the same time, soft and released. We can take our tongues and move it into the inside of our mouth to find some moisture, to find some relaxation of those jaws. Just allow the weight of the head to just feel a sense of being supported. Feel the neck soft. And we can move the shoulders, whether we're seated or lying. We can just wiggle those shoulders a tiny bit to feel them relax. And let go if we notice we're holding any tension into our buttocks, allowing those legs to soften. And just begin to notice where we perceive the breath moving in our bodies. Do we feel that that breath is high up into the chest, which is very normal when we're under stress and anxiety? Or because we're yogis, we know that we want to bring that breath deep into the base of our lungs. Just let's notice how we feel and what we feel. And then maybe we can take our right hand and bring it to our solar plexus. And as we breathe deeply into this space, filling that breath here, filling that lung completely and fully, and then feeling that let go, that release. We breathe here into that Manipura chakra. This is our place of personal power. This is where we assimilate the world, where we're taking in all that information, bringing it into this space to allow us to make the best decisions. And then we can let our left hand float up into the chest, that as we breathe first towards the belly, we can then fill that chest. And then we can exhale, letting go from the chest, and then feel that belly. And maybe we feel the chest and the belly slowly coming together a bit. We're not squeezing, but then as we breathe in, we can feel the opposite. We can feel that chest lifting up from that belly. Just begin to notice this very organic, natural motion for you. And as we breathe into that heart, we can feel that sense of love, a sense of gratitude for being here in this moment. Now, if we're seated in the chair, we don't have to move at all, but if we're lying on our backs, we want to go ahead and bend our knees and let our feet be flat. And maybe just for a moment, sway the legs just a bit, that you can feel that you get the best spot to nestle in. And then slowly, maybe rolling those shoulder blades once again, tucking them in just a bit, so that now as we breathe in, we can allow our back to arch up a tiny bit. And then as we exhale, we can feel our body release. So if we're seated in the chair, we can begin feeling that chest rate, maybe expand a bit more, and then that body letting go. But when we're laying back, we may begin to notice that back arching up just a bit, that you could feel your hand coming underneath that back. But then as you exhale, you may start to feel your belly firm so that we can reverse that position. Feel those arms. The hips now don't move. This is just the upper body. Feel that belly. So you may feel that tailbone kind of pulling up a bit. Just flow with this a few times. And then as your belly really begins to get a sense of understanding this sensation, that as the belly firms, you may feel that tail start to lift. Go ahead and let that lift up a little. And this is going to be just enough that the hands can kind of maybe float under the hips. And then they lower back down as you inhale and open that chest. So again, you're just moving slowly and slightly. Again, just hands maybe floating under that space. Just breathe. Now, as you're feeling ready for you, we can begin in that inhale to start lifting to bridge, and maybe allow that bridge to raise slowly and release. Maybe getting a little higher each time, because this is about you. Where do you want to be with this today? Breathing in, breathing out. And again, if you're seated in a chair, you can still feel how that spine begins to really want to move and flow, and that breath. Now, from wherever we are, if we're lifting up into the bridge, let's find that bridge. We're going to hang out here. If we're in our chair and we're opening the chest, we're going to hang out here. Or maybe we just decided to lift and arch our back a bit, and we can just hang out here. We have so many options because it's what's best for us today. Don't hold your breath, but maybe hold that sensation, feeling that energy flowing in the body. And then when we're ready, guys, slowly letting go and releasing. If you're on your back, we'll draw our knees to our chest. If you're on a chair, we can allow the upper body to melt down onto the legs. And let's just pause here a moment in our Apanasana, our release wind pose. If we are on the chair, let's lift our upper body up. If we're on our backs, we bring our hands to our knees and just allow ourselves to sway side to side. And those seated in the chair, just allow your upper body to sway a bit. But we're going to start creating a little circular motion. So if we're on the chair, it's our upper body that circles. And when we're laying on our back, we'll start allowing our legs to circle, allowing those hips to gently begin to move. Just feel that space as you inhale and feel that energy, that deep connection as you exhale. Just feel the body beginning to flow in this space, breathing in deeply and fully, and letting go deeply and fully as well. Now, whatever goes one way needs to go the other. So when you're ready, pausing. And then softly going the other way. Again, just breathing. That's all we need to do. But maybe feeling here that we're juicing up the hips, juicing up the pelvis to allow ourselves to move and to flow freely. But again, we can feel the belly, we can feel the opening of our hearts, really connecting here with our breath. And then as we finish our circle one more time, pausing, we can wrap our arms around our legs. And again, if we're seated in the chair, we can allow that upper body to melt down. Just Give yourself a moment here to breathe into our Apanasana, our release wind pose, a pose where we let go. If it isn't making us stronger, happier, or better, just let it go. And we're slowly going to bring ourselves to a seated position. So maybe roll to a side. If you want to rock straight up, you're welcome to do so. And find your seat. We can sit with our legs crossed. We can sit with our legs out in front of us. We can always raise our hips to put a blanket or towel underneath. And we can even slide those yoga blocks under our thighs if that feels good. Letting our hands press the ground, or even if we're seated on the chair, we can press that away so our hips raise up a little bit so we can sit nice and tall and strong. We're going to begin to use our arms. So just let your head turn in one side, it doesn't matter which, and we're going to let that arm begin to reach out and just slowly start to come up. And then as you exhale, just watch it come down. And we're not in a rush here. We're going to allow that arm to slowly lift. But notice you're not just throwing that shoulder up there, that you're working from that side of the body and those ribs. Notice too the position of your hand. If your palm is facing down, you may notice your hand is heavy. If your palm is turned all the way up, it may feel a little bit straining on the shoulder because of the rotation. So you may find just letting your thumb point up, you may find that shoulder gliding, but you need to find that space that works for you. We're all different. And then we want to slowly start bringing that arm as high up as we can. So just take a few more breaths here that you can lift that arm all the way up. So again, this is done beautifully seated in the chair as well as seated on your mat. Let's bring that arm all the way up this next time, wherever we are. And then as you reach that arm up, maybe we could just start playing with that shoulder blade a bit. Feel that arm moving gently. And then when you're ready, reaching it up as high as you possibly can, letting our head turn, maybe look at the arm and look out towards me, and then turning our head the other way. What works? What feels good? And then lift, if you can, a little bit higher until you have to take that other hand out to the side to support you, and breathe. Try to reach that arm long rather than just bending it, because you want to find space. Breathe. Feel the rib cage opening. Really breathe into that space. We don't think about the ribs a whole lot, but we really need them to be able to expand and contract. So breathe now into that side of the body. And then slowly inhale to come up, and then exhale, letting that arm come down. Let's just pause. Let's just breathe. And when you're ready, let's start with the other side, turning our head, using an inhale to lift. And it's a slow process. We're not in any rush here. We're all going to be here doing this online for quite a while. So let's not rush. We have lots of time that we can breathe and lengthen, and just go only so far that you feel that first sensation. Whatever it is that you feel, just go there, not push past. So breathing in big, that nice full exhale. And let's do just a couple more so that we can get that arm one more time all the way up. So feel the body, noticing. And when that arm comes up the next time, can you stay there? And then again, just start playing with that shoulder blade. Notice that you can feel that movement. And then just guide that arm up, high, high, high. Do you want to look at it? Do you want to look at me? Do you want to look at the other side? Or would you like to just close your eyes, being in that space, lift up a little higher, leaning over, and take that hand out just to help support you. And again, not bending that elbow. This is not about crooking it over, but reaching, finding that space that you can find from the hip to the fingers. Feel those ribs expanding. Find that breath, breathing into that space. On our next inhale, let's slowly come up and let that arm come down. Let the arms rest and maybe just wiggle those shoulders around a tiny bit. And we want to take a moment to begin to come to hands and knees. So would you like to just roll forward from here? Do you want your legs to swing to the side? Whatever feels